ArsenalFanTV, you was a bit nervous before the game. Well, to be fair, you was nervous coming down, and when you saw the teams, you were like, you know what? Nah, I'm more confident now.
Yeah, and it was more seeing Southampton's team than it was Arsenal's team. Arsenal put out roughly what I expected, but Southampton's team was significantly weaker than I thought. And look, I'm smiling for two reasons. Number one, the result, 5-0. And number two, because I've just heard Troop's interview. And all he's talking about is Stevie Bold and Arsene Wenger. And look, I'm just going to say, look, in my opinion, and I don't know what's going on inside the club or how it works. We're not insiders in the football circle. But in my opinion, Arsene Wenger did all the preparation during the week. Arsene Wenger selected the team. Arsene Wenger, in my opinion, would have called the shots on the substitutions today as well. Let's not forget, it's not a stadium ban, it's a touchline ban. And there's these things called mobile phones, right? So it's really not going to be hard for him to do all that directly.
BT suggested that Steve Bold probably locked his mobile off and decided to make the substitution. But he doesn't normally make substitutions early, does he? So
against Swansea, there was a 60th minute substitution. So who knows? Look, I think often there's certain myths that we perpetuate without really looking at the facts. Like, for example, Arsenal finished 4th. In reality, in Arsene Wenger's tenure at the club, he's finished 2nd as many times as he's finished 4th. Yet he's not known to be a 2nd place merchant. He's known to be a 4th place merchant. So behind a lot of these myths, there's not a lot of science a lot of the time. So if someone went back and checked all of his substitutions and came up with the average first substitution time, maybe there would be a bit of a surprise. But in any case, we don't know if there was a niggle, if there was a slight little something that encouraged that substitution to come early. But the point is, I think what we need to kind of realise is that it's not really about whether it was Steve Bold or whether it was Arsene Wenger. There were a lot of players there that deserve the credit today. Ultimately, they're the ones out on the pitch. And for me, really, Bold, Wenger, whoever the hell it might be, their involvement doesn't end, but it's much less impactful after that first whistle kicks off. Obviously the substitutions and systems is their kind of point, but in terms of how the players played today, there were so many brilliant performers. So many of them deserve a lot of credit. And the two that I'd really pull out, Renan Adelaide, I thought was brilliant. Some glimpses of his touch and his class are really evident there, but the one that stood out for me big time was Maitland-Niles, because credit to the boy, he has played right back a couple of times this season in the League Cup, and he's struggled, and he has looked a bit out of place, against Southampton, if I remember correctly, at home. But today he was playing in the middle, and I thought he looked absolutely brilliant. So
I'm surprised that, for a guy that you always sort of, I wouldn't say dissing's too much of a hard word, but you give him a lot of stick. You haven't mentioned Welbeck. Now, to me, it was absolutely... No, you said two guys.
No,
you've just named two guys.
No. Listen, the two guys that deserve a special mention because they performed.
All right, come to Danny Welbeck. What did you make of him?
But the reason why I'm calling those two out, and then I'll come to these guys later. Our first team, as we expect certain things of. But with Maitland-Niles and Renan Adelaide, if they had a shocker today, I wouldn't have come out and slated them because they're still learning their trade. And I was amazed at the level of confidence that Maitland-Niles played with in a game. Like, this is the FA Cup. It is a serious competition. And he was absolutely brilliant out of there. So, exactly. So, well played to both of them, and especially Maitland-Niles. I thought you were superb. And then out of the first teamers, look, Theo was brilliant. Lucas was brilliant. Alexis, when he came on, was brilliant. And the biggest compliment I can play to Danny Welbeck today was the way he played today, not just in terms of his finishing, not just in terms of his movement, strength and appetite for the game, his defensive work. The biggest compliment I can pay to him is that if Alexis Sanchez had played like that, that would be a performance he would have been proud of. It was that good. Danny Welbeck was superb today. And we've always seen it in little glimpses with Danny Welbeck, that he's got bags of ability, but he doesn't do it consistently. Today, he was absolutely brilliant. And that is what I'm desperate to see someone unlocking him on a more regular basis. And look, he's been unlucky with injuries. And I actually think, since he's come to Arsenal, he hasn't set the club alight, but he hasn't been bad either. He's been good value. And one thing I really like about him, aside from his 2 goals today and his assist, his defensive work, his running, that's what I love, because not everyone has got that cultured sort of touch like Alexis has, but one thing everyone can do is put in the work, and Welbeck always puts in the work. So I'll never criticise him, I'll never slate him, but yeah, I have doubted his ability, and I'd love it if week in, week out he proves me wrong and plays like that. And now look, we go on to Watford. That one has just got to be a simple domination and a victory again, and it's a big one against Chelsea. As many people have said, let's hope Liverpool can do us a favour against Chelsea, because when you look at all the fixtures remaining in the league, Chelsea don't have that many games where you really think to yourself they will slip up. But this is one of those games where you think if they get a win, that's a massive result for them. So even if they draw, I'm happy. They've just got to drop points. So all in all, good day for us today. I want Oxford or Lincoln in the next round away from home. You know, for me, I want to go to grounds we don't go to all the time. We come here in the league anyway. So for me, I want to go to a new ground. And the last compliment I want to pay today is to the best away fans in the land. For me, look, we're at Arsenal every single week. No away fans come and make the noise that we made today, that we make every single week. No away fans come and do that when they're at the Emirates. So look, away fans, Arsenal away fans, love you all. We are the best away fans in the land.